What is packing with you, YouTube? Cage TV back with another video. In the office, going over some gambling slips and trying to put this all together to win some more money. So, with that being said, I would like to welcome y'all to the G-Spot, where we talk about player prop picks for all Packer games this season. Last week wasn't a profitable week. Wasn't a profitable week, but this week we're gonna try to change some things around and try to put some green in our back pockets and win some bread. Let's get into this game. The San Diego Chargers are facing off against the greatest football team in sports history, the Green Bay Packers, this Sunday. The Green Bay Packers will be at home trying to defend home field once again, which we haven't been that successful doing this year. The Chargers are 4-5, took a tough loss last week against the Lions, losing 41-38, real close game. And the Packers, who are 3-6, who lost to the Steelers last week in a real close game, 23-19, and it seems like both teams are trying to bounce back and get back into the winner's circle. But before we do that, and we talk about breaking down this game, we're gonna get into these injuries. The Green Bay Packers just can't seem to get healthy, man. Rashawn Gary suffered a shoulder injury in practice, so he's questionable. Quay Walker still dealing with a groin injury. He's questionable. Jair Alexander, shoulder injury. He's questionable. Oh, God. And we need these guys this week, too. We need these guys. Rudy Ford, he's dealing with a bicep injury. And then I think that's about it, man. So hopefully these guys could get healthy before Sunday. On the other side of the ball, I don't think the Chargers have anybody. I think the Chargers have a couple of players kind of banged up, but I don't think it's anything significant. I know Keenan Allen, he kind of went down last week with a shoulder injury, but he was able to return in the game and put up 175 receiving yards against the Detroit Lions. So, I think they're going to be a full go. This week, I think they're going to be completely healthy, especially with Austin Eckler coming back, or getting his second game after his second game under him after coming back from injury. So I think he's going to be a real big challenge. They do have a player hurt. Isaiah Spiller, he has an illness. He popped up on the injury report, but I think he will play. So, yeah, the Chargers are fully healthy, man. Jalen Guyton's questionable with a groin injury. Quay Walker returns from his injury, so he will play. Keenan Allen hurt his left shoulder in the game, but he came back in the game and played, so he's probably going to be a full go. Star LA defender back at practice. The Chargers should be okay as far as the injury goes. But our history isn't that big with the Chargers. I mean, out of the 12 times we played them, we've beat them 10 times. They've beaten us twice. So we got to get some get back. I think the last time we played them, they beat us. So let's get into this game. All right. Now, the Chargers, it's their coaching. Brandon Staley, will he make a mistake? You know what I'm saying? Will he make a mistake in this game, going forward on 4th and 10 in his own territory and wind up having some kind of turnover for the Packers to score? Maybe not. This team is pretty much solid. They just have coaching issues in situational moments in the game. The coach might call a disastrous play where it doesn't let the quarterback, doesn't give the quarterback the best chance to make the right decision. So, you think about last week, Jared Goff didn't get sacked at all. And the Lions didn't sack Justin Herbert. Nobody got sacked in that game. So that tells you right there that the offensive lines are pretty good. I think the Packers going to have a tough time trying to get to Justin Herbert, especially with Rashawn being hurt and, all these injuries on defense. Other guys going to have to step up. Their thing is stopping the pass. Their secondary is not all that great. Jared Goff threw over 300 yards on these guys last week. And vice versa. Herbert threw for 300 yards on the Lions. But yeah, their secondary is very easy to pass against. We just got to make sure that the Packers are not hurting themselves by getting penalties. We had the penalties down at 5 last week. You know what I'm saying? So that shows that the offense is getting better and they cutting the penalties down. And that's an indication of us being in a close game when the penalties are, not over 9. So, yeah, the penalties going to have to, be cut down. We got to stop their receivers. They got some studs over there. Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnson. They going to be missing I think they missing a couple of receivers. They might be missing a few receivers this week. I think that's the only thing. They got like a few receivers that's not going to play. But they still got decent guys that can go out there and perform. So, the secondary, the Packers secondary has been great this whole year. The secondary hasn't been giving up a lot of yards passing. We haven't been really letting we've let running backs get a bunch of yards, but we haven't been letting them score like touchdowns like that. You know what I'm saying? The run is the only thing that's been hurting us. And without Jair and Eric Stokes and Savage out there, this secondary has been playing very well. They've been playing very well, so I'm pretty sure that they, hopefully they did their homework against Justin Herbert, because he does make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's gonna go out there and just play top-notch football the whole game. So the Packers defense is gonna have to play lights out again. And this offense has a huge opportunity to play some big-time football this week, especially against this secondary that gave up 300 yards to Jared Goff. But let's get into some of these player prop picks. Just a small breakdown of the game. Jordan Love is going to have to play well. Aaron Jones is going to have to run the football well, along with A.J. Dillon. Our receivers are going to have to catch open passes. Matt LaFleur's play calling is going to have to be up to par. I think we should play up-tempo football against this team. And we're going to have to score touchdowns, man. We're going to have to score touchdowns. The Lions got into a shootout with this team last week. 41-38. That's 79 points. So if the Chargers get rolling early, and I don't think the Packers gonna be able to catch this team as far as scoring. It's gonna be tough. But let's get into some of these player prop picks. I mean, we got Justin Herbert at over 1.5 TDs, 260.5 passing yards, 9.5 rushing yards, 35.5 pass attempts, 23.5 completions, 2.5 sacks taken, and 66.2 completion percentage are the prop picks you could pick for him. Austin Eckler, 49.5 rushing yards, 13 rushing attempts, 30.5 receiving yards, and 84.5 rushing yards plus receiving yards. Rushing yards plus receiving yards. Then you got Quentin Johnson with a rushing touchdown, receiving touchdown. It's 2 times the payout for that prop bet. 36.5 receiving yards. Keenan Allen, 7.5 receptions, 86.5 receiving yards. 4.5 first downs, 10 targets. Donald Farham, touchdown, 2 times the money. 27.5 receiving yards. Then you got Jalen Guyton, touchdown, 2 times the money. Khalil Mack gets a sack. That's 1.5 times the money on that prop pick. And then I like their kicker with 1.5 field goals and 6.5 kicking points. So if I'm looking at the Chargers, I'm probably looking at Herbert with over 1.5 passing TDs. Looking at maybe, over 9.5 rushing yards. I like his passing yards too. 260.5 passing. I like that. 2.5 sacks taken. I would probably bet the under on that. But anything can happen in the game on a line of scrimmage. I like his passing attempts, 35.5. I like that too. Austin Eckler, I love his 49.5 rushing yards over. I like the 13 rushing attempts, and I like the 30.5 receiving yards. Love that. Keenan Allen, I like his targets, and I like his first downs over 4.5. Receptions, I don't know about that. And I like his receiving yards, 86.5. All it takes is him 1 or 2 plays, and he'll get that. As far as touchdowns, I like Donald Farham with a touchdown and over 27.5 receiving yards. And I think Jalen Guyton could be a sneaky play for a TD. 2 times the payout. They got Khalil Mack with a sack. I could see it happening against the Packers. I could see him getting a sack. And then I like the kicker. 1.5 field goals made, 6.5 kicking points. I like that too. So that's on the Chargers side. On the Packers side, you got Jordan Love, 228.5 passing yards. I like that. I like the 14.5 rushing yards. Pass attempts, I will probably bet the under on that, and I will probably bet the under on the 2.5 sacks taken. Aaron Jones, I like his. I just like Aaron Jones' receiving yards, 23.5. His rushing yards, I would probably bet the under on that. Even though the Lions were very, very successful running the ball against the Chargers. I just don't. Maybe if I look more into it, the 53.5 rushing yards and the over 12.5 rush attempts might be enticing the more and more I look at it. But I do love A.J. Dillon's 29.5 rush yards, his 7.5 rush attempts, And if he catches over 2 receptions, it's 1.5 the payout. If he scores a touchdown, it's 1.5 the payout, plus the payout. Receiving yards, I don't know about the receiving yards. That's kind of iffy to me. But I do like his rush plus receiving yards over 39.5. I like that a lot. Christian Watson, a big question mark on every Packer fan's mind. What are we going to get out of Christian Watson this week? You'll probably get the 7 targets. No, the 7 targets will probably be under. I think Matt LaFleur is going to try to do like a run play with Christian Watson this game. I think he's going to try to run that reverse sweep. I just got a feeling Matt LaFleur is going to pull that out the bag this week against the Chargers just to try to see if he could catch them off guard. And it might be in the red zone, so be looking out for that. So if you want to go ahead and take a touchdown for Christian Watson, it's 2 times the payout. But I don't know if I'm gonna run with that. I like Romeo Doubs, 34.5 receiving yards. And I do like his touchdown prop with 2 times the payout. I like Luke Musgrave. He's had over 50 yards the last 2 games. And I like his prop bet with over 29.5 receiving yards. I like Datavion Wicks if he's getting looked at with over 19.5 receiving yards. Jaden Reed, who I think is the number 1 receiver for the Packers by the end of this season. I think he will be the number 1 receiver for the Packers by the end of the season. I love his 33.5 receiving yards over. I love his touchdown prop, 2 times the payout. I like that. Preston Smith. No, we'll get to that. Anders Carlson. I like his kicking points at 5.5. And I like his field goals too. Over 1.5, which is 1.5 times the payout. Defensively with this team, I like Keyshawn Nixon's 4 tackles plus assists, and I like Jonathan Owens over 5.5 tackles plus assists. But it depends on how these drives go with the Chargers on offense. That will determine how many tackles these guys get. They have other props on there too with Kenny Clark and a few other guys, but I wasn't feeling them. I just wrote down the ones that I was feeling. So if I was to pick who will win this game, with the Chargers having a 58.8% win probability against the Packers 41.2%, it's gonna be a pretty chilly day in Lambeau. It's a difference when you see the Chargers perform indoors and then they have to go outdoors. But I do think the Chargers get the win. And I say that because I don't see the Packers winning another game. And I could be wrong, but I don't see them win another game until we play the Giants. So by that time, we'll probably be 3-9. We got some tough games coming up right after the Charger game. I think we got the Chiefs and another good team, another solid team that's going to be hard to play and hard to beat. So, man, I'll throw up some more games that I'm interested in this week in watching. And, we need this team to go out there and play good football. Hopefully they're coached up to bring their A game. I don't have a score prediction, but from what I've been seeing, it might be 17-24 Chargers, or it might get out of hand, man. You never know. But I do believe the Packers have a puncher's chance. But just seeing these injuries with Jair Alexander, Quay Walker, and now Rashawn Gary, We're going to have to see a lot of Luke Van Ness and Enoch Barrier and Jonathan Owens and Isaiah McDuffie back out there again. Carrington Valentine. This defense is going to have to step up, man. Corey Ballantyne is going to have to be over there again if Jair is not able to go, which I wouldn't mind anyway, because, Jair is banged up this year. He's not really, he hasn't been healthy. But yeah, I'll throw up some extra games that I'm interested in that you guys could check out. So with that being said, man, I'm going to end this video with a Go Pack Go, and let's go out here and take on these goddamn Chargers. It's your man Cage TV. Thank you guys for checking out the G Spot, and let's go win some money.